My guest tonight is the co-creator, co-producer, writer, and voice of over 30 characters on the Netflix animated series Big Mouth. He also has a new movie out called Olympic Dreams. Please welcome our good friend, Mr. Nick Kroll. Nick, how are you?
I'm good, Conan. I have to say, I miss being behind a curtain right now, talking to a Teamster, hearing that intro, and then walking out and awkwardly waving at a studio audience who's mildly pleased to see me. So this is, but otherwise I'm doing well. I'm very happy to be communicating with you.
Hey, you know what I want to do before I forget, which is I got invited to, I think, like 7 Seders, virtual Seders for Passover. I'm curious, did you participate in a Passover Seder?
I did, actually. We did one last night at 3:30 p.m. with my family, who's all in New York. My sister Dana and her husband David and their family put on a whole play, the Passover, story of Passover. Yeah. And they all stayed in frame, and so it was like watching a great production of the Exodus from Egypt.
Yeah, and the original Exodus was done on Zoom, I'm told.
Yes.
What did you do on your end?
I made this thing called Haroset, which is
Haroset?
Haroset.
Haroset.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. You are an Irishman who's been in enough writers' rooms with Jews to really hit that nice and hard.
I got it down. Down.
Gorgeous. So Haroset is like apples, walnuts, some wine, cinnamon, and it's sort of chopped up into a fine thing, and it's supposed to symbolize the bricks that the Jews enslaved in Egypt used to build the pyramids. And you mix it with maror, although as the Hebrew would be maror. Can you do that? Maror. Very good. Which is just like horseradish, and you make a little sandwich out of it, and you eat it on matzah. So I made that last night to impress my family, like, look at what a good Jewish boy I am. And then I woke up this morning and my eyes are coming back, but I had an allergic reaction to the walnuts.
Yeah, I could tell your eye. Even I can tell your eyes look a little like bugged out. Yeah,
no, my eyes are bugged out. So I had an allergic reaction to making Haroset at an online Seder, which maybe one of the more Jewish things said on earth today.
All right, I want to bring up something. You did something that sounds like it raised a lot of money, but also sounds like something spectacular. I really wish I had seen this, which is you did a Feeding America, and you did it with a table read of a script with the entire cast of Big Mouth. I would love to see you guys do that.
It was a live table read over Zoom with basically our entire cast.
That's cool.
And we did it on Zoom, and it went straight into YouTube, and throughout we just tried to amplify Feeding America, which is a great organization that is trying to help everyone in need who needs food, and they support over 200 food banks around the country. And they're so we were able, through that live broadcast on YouTube, and then it's still up on YouTube if people want to see it.
Check it out. Yeah, it's a great idea, and you guys have such an amazing cast. And it's also one of those shows where it's fun, I would imagine, because I'm a fan of Big Mouth and I know a lot of you guys personally, but to see you do the characters and then be able to imagine the characters as they're animated would be really fun, I would think.
Yeah, it was great. It was, and I think honestly, it was pretty early into this whole thing, and it was, I think, nice for everybody to get together, just even over Zoom and see each other and do something that felt a little lighter, and also for hopefully people out in the world, like, just to give them something to watch.
Yeah, I think we're extraordinarily lucky to be working in a weird business where we can still do what we do from home. I feel very grateful about that. I mean, the fact that you and I can still make this ridiculous foolishness and be, keeping people employed and working with our people over Zoom, man, we're extraordinarily lucky. We're very lucky to get to do that.
We are. A lot of people are not having that experience, and so I feel very grateful, and I'm just trying to figure out ways that we can help other people who are not in this privileged situation for any number of reasons. So
yeah. I want to ask you we're going to go from the sublime to the absurd.
Mhm.
You posted a picture on Super Tuesday. It was a photo of you when you ran for class president. It's amazing to look at this picture because you look exactly like your character on Big Mouth.
Yeah, we did people will say that all the time when I post this. They're like, "Oh my God, you look like the kid from Big Mouth." I'm like, "Yeah, well, it's based on me." And he's got the big old forehead and the big old lips. And it's, I don't know, certain people's faces look cartoonish. Like when I look at the picture, your cartoon of you.
Yes.
It's like, it looks absurdly like you, just like that little picture of me looked like me.
Yep.
And I'm like, what is it? We're just like these like cartoon people. It's no wonder we ended up doing what we do. You look like a potato with red hair, and I look like a little pickle with big lips.
We're both insulting caricatures of our heritage.
I know. Well, I just posted this thing on Instagram of, I guess people are obviously trying to figure out ways to fill their time. And so there was a caricature contest, some guys assigning people for people to draw every day. So I woke up on Instagram one morning to like, I don't know, 20 caricatures of myself. And I look like, I just like, my features is so big. And one of my first jokes on stand-up that I did was, some people tell me I look like Jeff Goldblum, and other people tell me I look more like a Nazi propaganda cartoon of a Jew.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
when you see these caricatures, you are like, oh boy.
No. Now, you posted a photo from your prom night. Look at the hair on you. This is incredible locks on a young Nick Kroll. And I'm curious, how was that prom night? Did you have a satisfying prom night?
It was not great. It was not a great prom. What happened? My friends and I had like a pre-cocktail party thing for all the kids in my grade to come to my house, and none of my friends came. And then the prom itself was fine. And then we went and saw jazz in New York City. And I thought it was so cool. And all of my friends did not. Like, it was not a cool. Dude, what was your prom? Did you have a good prom?
No, I didn't go to prom. It's a long story, but I ended up not going to prom, and I ended up going to I went to a store that sold potted plants and fertilizer because my dad needed fertilizer. So I ended up loading a bunch of bags of fertilizer into the back of a really crappy station wagon, getting covered in fertilizer dust because he wanted me to plant these shrubs in the backyard. And then I was driving down Route 9 back to my house, and I stopped at a stoplight, and next to me was a limousine, and the window lowered, and it was this girl I really liked, and this guy was taking her out, and I was waving to them. It's a long story, but I did not go to prom, and I'm
thankful. Sounds like you had a shitty prom. Fertilizer.
You know, you didn't need to say fertilizer. You know, I'm going to get in close. I'm going to get in real close.
I can't because of my allergic walnut eyes. So I can't get it too close to the camera there.
Now, listen, you speak with the youth of America through
every day, Conan.
You do, and you've been asked
chat rooms everywhere.
You've been asked to stop.
Yeah.
But my question is, what do you think is? I mean, so many young people, so many 17 and 18-year-olds are going to miss their prom this year. What do you think? How are they going to get through that?
Well, I'm working on something actually to try to get to help kids who are missing their prom. I'm working on something right now, for real. But I think, like, here's what I'll say is, like, whether you get your prom or not, and all these poor seniors who are socially distanced from each other in their like senior spring, it's the highlight of like high school and of your childhood before you all go off. It sucks. You're not allowed to be around each other. We have to take this very seriously. But I will say, like, when this ends and everybody is allowed to regather, it's gonna be a fest, Conan. Wow. And I think, like, all those kids who are pent up at home, they're gonna get together and they are gonna get after it. It's gonna be a fest, Conan.
I got to say, I've never been to a fest.
It's great. It's like driving a station wagon full of fertilizer down.
Wow. Okay. I missed out on that. Man,
Yeah.
did I miss out. That sounds fantastic. That
Yeah,
sounds
but I will report back, but I'm trying to work on something for prom.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, it sucks. There's no denying it. It sucks for these kids. But I think when we all get back together, those kids are going to have a good time.
Now, Olympic Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure I get the word on that. Olympic Dreams is available for streaming. It's out there right now. And this is the best time to watch streaming content. I would think this would be the perfect time to be having a project come out on streaming. And
it is, and it's a really sweet, like, I think for right now, especially, like, it's one of those movies that's very sweet and a little escapist at a time when sometimes people want to watch different things. I really enjoy it, and it's it's streaming on all types of stuff now.
I also want to mention Big Mouth is currently, of course, on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And Oh Hello, the podcast is partnering with United Way. This is very cool. And listeners of the podcast are asked to donate to United Way of New York's COVID-19 Community Fund.
Yeah.
So you're making a lot of funny stuff, and you're also helping out, which is great. That's a great combo platter.
Trying to, yeah. Oh Hello podcast. Me and John Mulaney have been in touch with Gil Faizon and George St. Geegland. Who are the guys who did.
What are they working on, those guys?
What's that?
What are those guys working on? What are those guys up to?
They're in self-quarantine, and we got a fax, a Xerox copy of a fax that was dropped in a deeply manila envelope. I don't think it's overly manila, and there were olive juice stains on the manila envelope. Anyway, inside of it was like, we got a podcast, we're ready to go. So we have been working with our producer Lena and in putting out a new podcast every week from the boys, about the life and death of Princess Diana.
Oh, that's what the boys are obsessed with, right?
Yes, the boys are obsessed with the life and death of Princess Diana. So they're putting out a podcast about that, and they're being advised by Ira Glass from This American Life and Sarah Koenig from Serial Podcast, and they're trying to guide George and Gil through this. George and Gil stopped making the podcast about a year and a half ago, but they want to, quote, win the quarantine. So they are now they've buried their personal hatchet to make this podcast. So we're trying to help them get the word out.
It's incredible. It's incredible that in this great time of strife for the world and America, that foolishness is still being made around the clock.
What else can we do?
I don't know. Make masks and stuff.
That'd be good too. That's
actually. Make a medicine. Make an antiviral. Cream.
I was gonna do the quarantine this morning, but instead I'm trying to help Gil Faizon get the Oh Hello podcast out.
Exactly. Well, it's been really fun talking to you. I love chatting with you, and it does make me happy to know that you are cranking away with your team of strange people, making this great stuff.
Always, and to you as well. We'll let's keep chatting, and I look forward to being in a room with you in person soon. And
that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And I'll give you the proper Passover greeting then.
Which is a tongue kiss. It's a tongue kiss from an Irishman. That's always the proper Seder greeting.
I can do that.
Great.
Can do that.
I need one. I need one to complete the Passover miracle.
I'll make that happen. I promise. Thank you very much, Nick Kroll.
Thanks, Conan.